happens.
It's your morning addiction.
This dude has a Nazi tattoo on his chest. And the women that he dated describe him as someone that roughed him up.
Wake Up Missouri with Stephanie Bell, the Zimmer News Team.
It's the United States on the board!
And now introducing your host, Randy Tobler.
And he gave some new insight and reaction about the ongoing talks that are taking place in Switzerland and the threats coming from the Iranian regime. President Trump telling Fox News that the U.S. may take over the strait in the future if they have to and collect tolls. The president described this as the United States being the guardian angel of the Strait of Hormuz and the Middle East.
Wait a minute. Wait a minute. Wait a minute. On this Monday morning, before there were no tolls, then there are tolls, but we'll hold the tolls. Who tolls for thee? The bell tolls for thee. I can't make any sense of what's going on out there. Maybe y'all in Wake Up Land can do that. Welcome into Wake Up Missouri. I'm Randy Tobler. Brian Carl in for Stephanie Bell. How you doing, Brian?
Very well, Randy. Happy to be here and happy to talk about tolls.
And Brian will be unpacking and explaining fully what the heck's going on over there for the next 3 hours.
You know what? If I could do that, Randy, I'd like to get paid a lot more money.
Yeah. John Marsh alongside. And John, I can't figure it out either. We have tolls and then we don't have tolls. And if there's going to be tolls, now we're going to do the tolls. But the straits, they say, are closed, Iran says, and then we say, no, they're not. 67 ships went through yesterday.
I'm speechless.
Erstwhile newsman John Marsh with the real truth, the rest of the story.
I don't know. He said, she said.
Well. I hate to be the guy to say I told you so, but I did tell you guys if we didn't bomb Iran that nothing was going to happen. I mean, look, say what you will, but I feel like we need to bomb them. Yeah. And did you see that Trump, I saw a report that he was at like that cabin in Maryland that they go, like presidents go for privacy or something like that. So maybe.
Camp David.
Camp David, yeah. Maybe he's plotting something.
Well, and then there's a whole nother story to this, and that is remember the old game, Where's Waldo?
Yes.
I have a question for you. Where's Marco? You have not seen Marco Rubio for the last 4 days. I mean, he is either in exile or he has personally stood down because he wants to run in 28 and let JD take and own this travesty as it's becoming.
Which would be a cynical yet brilliant political maneuver.
Yep.
I don't think that J.D. Vance takes the fall for this, do you?
Well, he's out there being the apologist for it.
He's being the apologist, but I think all of the, Trump has said multiple times that the brains behind this whole thing is Hegseth.
No.
I've seen some clips.
He's not been doing the negotiation.
No, not the negotiations, but it was like his idea to go to war or something stupid like that.
Well, he'll throw him under the bus.
Well, gentlemen, I'm starting to wonder about JD. This has all of the hallmarks of Kamala and the border. Pretty soon, JD's going to be introduced as the Iran czar.
And we have so he's back from Switzerland. Oh no, I guess he's still in Switzerland. He's wrapping up in Lucerne. And he says that this is the most peaceful situation we've seen. He says, now the big news out of the weekend, the big top of the fold headline news is there's a committee to discuss the framework for negotiations.
So you have to have, before you negotiate about something, you have to have a committee that works on how you're going to do it, where you're going to do it. I do think that the president has pulled a fast one on JD because JD's got to stay in Switzerland until they get that new paint job on Air Force Two, and
right.
That's going to take several months.
Hey, did you see he rolled out Air Force One?
Yeah, it's beautiful.
Friday? Yeah, it's beautiful.
It's beautiful.
Is that a Qatari plane? Or
yeah, it is.
Yeah,
it is. And I did not know this, gentlemen, but when the president leaves office, that plane's going with him to his library.
Well, I thought it wasn't. It is?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
That's what I understand.
Air Force One.
I think that's what they said.
I was taken aback by that.
So, do they have a hangar in the library? Like, what's the...
Oh, yeah, they will. Yes, they will.
Well, I can't wait for the Trump Presidential Library with a whole airport connected to it. It's gonna be great.
It's just that the whole Trump thing. We're going to be unpacking what happened over the weekend because it is important, and it's important that you ponder this and think about it. I don't know. I wasn't out and about buying gas over the weekend. Have gas prices started to go down as oil has? Well, I guess plummet is the word, down from, what, 90 some odd dollars a barrel just a week or so ago.
$3.80 and change this morning coming in.
It's amazing how when gasoline, dipped below $4, you'd have thought that, we're in the money. It's like it hurt so badly that it got below $4 and everyone's celebrating out in the streets.
But unfortunately, it will be the price will be sticky. It's going to be a lot longer ride down than it was up.
Yeah, well, there's more that comes out of Iran. This was the president, and Trey Yanks reporting on that, the president of Iran.
President Trump tells Fox News he spoke with Iranian officials overnight and said, you close it and you won't have a country. He went on to tell these officials, you won't even make it back to your effing country.
Well, you know what? That reminds me so much of FDR during World War II. Mm-hmm. He didn't say it, but he did it.
Yeah, he did it. He spoke. Well, we'll see where that goes. In other news, we have. Did you see the vandalism? They arrested a vandal at the pool, the reflecting pool.
Yes.
Was that on Friday?
Yes.
The guy. I think the guy. I heard that maybe it was a different guy, but he'd been in the Olympics or
three times.
Mm-hmm.
Is a canoeist, kayaker.
So he's in his bicycle garb, right?
Yes.
And he was taking off some of that. Here's some more of what's going on at the reflecting pool.
Let's go, Algie, let's go.
A guy with bright fluorescent green hair and a woman next to him. Let's go, Algie, let's go. What's the likelihood? What's the likelihood? What's the percentage that these people are employed?
I was going to say probably not, but I'm beginning to wonder if that was Drake.
Are they just letting anybody into the Olympics nowadays? I'm sorry. You said that he was an Olympus for canoeing or kayaking. Like, I remember whenever I was like, oh, it's a dream to be in the Olympics. Nowadays, it's like, oh, well, you can balance on your pinky toe while playing the flute. Oh, there you go. You're an Olympic gold medalist now. It's ridiculous.
But in other very good news,
out round. And after the win, they gathered in a huddle in the field and prayed.
Oh, that's beautiful. Team USA has not been shy about showing off their faith, posting Bible quotes on Instagram, giving glory to God online, and discussing it in interviews.
You always pray, but I think over the last ever since I really started playing with the national team was really when I think I kind of stepped more into my faith. Faith means everything to me.
That's Chris Richards. Chris Richards, the guy that has the Kaepernick hair on the team. Good player. He's talking about his faith. They all huddled in a circle and said a prayer. That interview went on to interview the guy who is like either the official or unofficial chaplain of the team, himself a player in the day. I'm becoming a soccer fan. There's something so wholesome about this U.S. men's national team. I really am becoming.
They're going to need
a big
God.
Soccer.
They're going to need God if they want to win.
Well, it sounds like they may have God on their side. I don't know.
Yeah, if they're going to do it, it's this year, I guess.
They won two games in a row. They had a goal scored by the other team for the U.S. team. Is that common in soccer? I'm not a soccer fan.
It happens.
Yeah?
You don't want to be the guy who does
who did it.
It happened in the game against Paraguay, and it happened in Australia, the game against Australia.
I'm going to keep it very on the surface because not everyone knows soccer. Yeah. That is something that the U.S. did. This isn't like, oh, well, Australia just sucks. They scored on themselves. What a bunch of losers. Now, I'm the first to say every other country besides America is losers. But I mean, you put it in a place where they either score themselves or it puts you in a position to score as America.
It's sort of like checkmate in chess, right? You're going to win one way or another. Yeah.
It's either our guy's going to get the point or you're going to look like a loser.
I wondered because the guy, in both instances, our guy is in the corner off to the side. He puts it up in front of the goalie box there. Next thing you know, it's hit one of their guys and gone in.
Usually
Is
it
that
happens
called the
when
goalie box?
they try to block a cross, and then it goes in. That's when it happens.
Yeah. What are you laughing at, Drake?
Not for air, Randy. Not for air.
Isn't that the goalie box?
I'll tell you in the break.
What's it called? The little square in front of the goalie.
Yes, no, that's not the. I just made a stupid joke.
Oh, you did. Okay, well, we'll talk about it during the break. Okay, now who do they play? They play Turkey or Paraguay? They play Turkey now, right? In the next round,
I think it's Turkey. Yes,
they play Turkey. Yeah.
We basically are a lock for winning our group, so that's pretty cool. That's the first time in forever that we've done it, or something like that.
Is there any chance that we would play in Kansas City, or no? That's all just one group that plays in Kansas City. Where will the finals be? Do we know? Should we make it to the finals? I don't know.
Do I look like I have a $5,000 to burn on nosebleed tickets for FIFA? Who do you take me as, Randy?
Speaking of nosebleed, we have a story about a guy that did more than have a nosebleed at a concert.
Now, Randy, I told you that in confidence. We weren't supposed to talk about that on air.
No. It is
different guy?
It's
different
a different guy.
Okay.
No, it happened up in Madison Square Gardens. I think we'll talk about that at 6:35. So Eric Burleson, Congressman Burleson joins us at 7:35. He's going to have something in the House Triangle. Is that where they all come out and they have their big photo ops? The House Triangle? I don't know.
But what the heck is the House Triangle? I've never heard of it.
I think it's the House Triangle.
It's the Illuminati.
Wait a minute. Let me get this.
Yeah, I think that's probably what it is.
I saw this presser. They're going to have a press conference. I don't know.
It's that little patch of grass
the
right
Great
out
American
front.
Healthcare in the House Triangle.
Never heard
June
of it.
24th. We'll have to ask him, is this something like the Illuminati? Is this like Star Chamber?
Well, that's when they come out of Sub-Basement 5.
Yeah. But he's got a Great American Healthcare plan that he's going to talk about. So we're going to do that at 7:35 and talk to him about Iran and about the FISA/Save America controversy, because President says they are connected at the hip. Congress says, well, we can't make it happen. Well, at least the Senate says that. How is it that a bill that is among Democrats and Republicans, it's a 70, 80, 90% thing, have a voter ID? Why is it that our legislators can't get their act together?
Well, and I do believe that we are the only democracy in the world that doesn't have voter ID. I know. Shocking.
Wow. Yeah, that is. There's Brian. He's in for Steph. I'm Randy. John's alongside. We're letting Drake hang out today. How'd Father's Day go for you, Drake? Happy Father's Day.
We'll get to that later.
How many parties did you have?
He was on Zoom all day. I don't know if he was receiving or sending. We'll be back with the Daily DC Rundown.
It's Wake Up Missouri.
responded directly to those comments by Iranian President Masoud Pezeshkian. President Trump told Fox News he better watch his mouth, he better shape up, or we'll take over the rest of the country.
Here's John Marsh taking over the rest of the Daily DC Rundown.
That's it. Vice President J.D. Vance and the other U.S. negotiators in the same room as those Iranian officials at the resort in Switzerland yesterday. A rare face-to-face meeting as the two countries launched their 60-day sprint to negotiate the fate of Iran's nuclear program. An emergency session on the fighting in Lebanon added to the agenda for the Swiss talks. Well, according to the Iranians, the Strait of Hormuz is closed again after accusing the U.S. and Israel of violating the Memorandum of Understanding by Israeli troops not withdrawing from southern Lebanon. Three-time U.S. Olympian David Hearn says police arrested him on Friday after he touched a piece of the blue coating that was detached from the bottom of the Lincoln Memorial reflecting pool. Hearn said he went on a bike ride and stopped by the pool as a curious, concerned citizen. Said given his background in materials science, Hearn said he was interested to see the situation for himself. Across the pond, British Prime Minister Keir Starmer announced he is resigning from his position as a leader of the ruling Labour Party, which will also see him replaced as the country's leader. Starmer under mounting pressure to resign for weeks following his disastrous round of local elections for his party. So there, lots going on and stuff over there, kind of not related, but in the news.
Is it the 10th leader in 7 years or the 7th leader in 10 years? There's just a lot of leaders. They've had a lot of
I think 7th in 10 years.
7 in 10 years. And what is it? And apparently the person that's going to be the heir apparent to Starmer, I heard, is the mayor of Manchester, who is even left of Starmer. Now, this is at the same time that Columbia, not Columbia, Missouri, but Columbia, just elected a far-right, sort of like a Javier Milei kind of a guy, a Trump-backed candidate, a right-leaning guy in South America. So South America, the banana republics that have been there and done that with socialist, terrible economies, inflation, absolute tyranny, they're going to the right. Europe continues to go to the left as the West is being destroyed by mass immigration, rampant crime, economic chaos. What's wrong over there? Do they need more air conditioning? Is it the beer? I don't know.
They probably need more electricity. What's really interesting, John, is that the first I heard of it, Starmer, the Prime Minister of the UK, resigning, it was from Donald Trump.
Yeah, that's right. He said that.
He said it. And I went back through my cranial archives, and I don't remember any U.S. president announcing the resignation of a major ally ahead of time.
He is the boss, He
is the boss.
And he doesn't like Starmer.
Hey, the next time you go to a concert, you better watch your balance. You ever heard of this group called Goose?
Yeah,
No.
I think I heard them at the Men's Gentleman Club. Yeah, they sound familiar from the
Goose.
I'm making a gay joke. Okay, never mind.
Oh, the Men's
They
Gentlemen.
sound
group.
stupid. I don't
Well,
know.
I thought they were a Canadian group. I don't know.
I think that's probably a really good guess. Yeah.
I don't know.
I think they're from Connecticut, but okay.
I know.
I don't know.
I'm just
Canada,
kidding you.
Connecticut. Yeah, it's all the same thing.
Same.
Every time I go to the farm, I get goose poop all over the dock. Anyway, let me ask you this question. When you go to a concert, a baseball game, a football game, maybe a World Cup game, how do you feel about sitting in that upper tier right on the edge when you're hanging out over the mezzanine below you?
I'll take you back. Those were choice seats at Kiel Opera House up in the mezzanine back in the day.
You better be sober. That's all I got to say.
Apparently, there was a guy, 51 years old, who fell to his death during a Goose show at Madison Square Garden.
Was the music that bad?
Well, the beer must have been flowing. I don't know. He plunged from a, quote, elevated position, close quote, according to police. Transported to Bellevue, where he was pronounced dead.
Randy, what does that mean? It was up high? Is that what that means? An elevated position?
An elevated position. Goose said they were heartbroken after learning of the tragedy. They had a 2-night run there. Venue staff cleared at least 7 rows in the area where the incident took place, and as best I can tell, they performed their full 16-song set list and ended the concert shortly before midnight.
My question is, who goes to Madison Square Garden for a concert after the Knicks win? Like, isn't the city supposed to be like burning down right now? All 5 boroughs are just in hell right now, is what I've been seeing online.
Yeah, things are going on.
I guess that a crappy concert is more deadly than the Knicks winning.
Well, they're on a summer tour that's 27 concerts in 19 cities. I've not heard of Goose. Well, now I have. Apparently, they're sort of a genre.
People in NYC, the whole, like Drake said, I mean, if all 5 boroughs are burning down, they don't care. They'll still go ahead and go to concerts and do what we do. It's New York.
Yeah. I don't know. Those are good seats generally because you have a full open view. You don't have to be goosenecking, pun intended, around the person in front of you.
Oh my goodness!
But certain theaters are really built okay if you're sitting on the floor, But others are not. You'd be better off to sit up high and a little further away. At least you can see.
Have you guys ever been to one of these venues where the pitch is really steep? I've been to a few. The Rose Bowl is a little bit like this, where you're standing there and the pitch is so toward the field or the floor of the arena, you think, wow, gravity is stronger here. I can feel it. I'm going to go tumbling down.
Wait, Brian Carl, have you been to the Rose Bowl?
Yes.
Oh, my gosh. Why don't we have this guy on more, Randy? This guy's a stud.
Tell us about the Rose Bowl. When were you there?
I was there, I think it was 1996 or 1997. And
Who
it
played?
Was Penn State and Oregon.
Oh.
And there was this guy behind me who was cheering incessantly. Actually, it reminds me of you, Drake. He was yelling incessantly about Oregon and how much Penn State wasn't good. I'll put it that way. And I finally
was behind you.
Yeah, I finally turned around and told him to shut up.
Did you have to duck?
No, he was younger than I was, and I had on really dark, big Ray-Ban Wayfarers, and I think he was afraid I might be some sort of an operative.
No, that was it. That was too good of a joke, Randy. We can't let that one slide. You got to duck. The Oregon Ducks.
Oh, okay. You know what? Okay.
Come on, it's Monday morning. Give me a break.
No. That was
doing
great.
My best here.
What do you
think this is? The comedy club?
I'm going to admit that was
that one just went right.
It was outstanding, and I missed it on the radio. I've embarrassed myself.
But back to the concert, you got to think if this was like a mid-tier concert, it was just kind of to fill the time. Do you think his family afterwards is he died doing what he loved, or
I don't know. How sad though.
It's sad. It is sad.
Well, and other things happen. there's people that get dizzy at heights, right? It's like a reflex reaction. Your body shuts down, slows the heart rate down in a safety kind of a mode, not wanting you to fall off the cliff, and you end up falling out of the balcony, right? I mean, I can see that happening. 51 years old, I mean, the guy could have had a heart event or an arrhythmia. You never know. I don't know.
Well, and you guys talked about some of those venues out there with a really steep pitch. I mean, you ever been to the original Ryman in Nashville?
No.
Ryman Auditorium, you about need your mountain climbing boots to go up and down it. Huh. Radio City Music Hall was famous for being the same way with a really steep pitch to the sitting.
So John, you probably need to be tethered to something, like going up Everest. If you slip and fall, you don't want to go all the way down to the bottom.
Yeah, no kidding. I mean, the Ryman's the one that comes to mind for me. Now, they've got the new one that's different, but the old one was, gosh, wasn't it originally a church, I think? I think it was.
In Nashville?
Yeah.
Probably.
Yeah, I think so.
No disrespect to Nashville. Have you guys ever heard about the sort of attraction at what I still call the Sears Tower in Chicago, where you go up to the observation deck and they have built this glass enclosure, and you can walk out away from the building, and you right under your feet, you look down, and there, 100-odd stories is the sidewalk.
Yeah.
Wow. So it's like a glass bottom?
It's a glass bottom. Yeah, it's like a glass bottom boat that's attached to the side of the building.
I don't know.
Yeah, they call it the ledge.
Oh,
yeah, I bet.
I haven't been on it. I had friends who've gone on it, and it's pretty spooky.
So is it no longer the Sears Tower? Has it been renamed?
It's Willis Tower.
Yeah, it's Willis.
What
they
call it now.
Yeah, John's right. Although, it's one of those things. It was the Sears Tower since
what is it now?
Mid-'70s. Willis
Tower.
I don't even know who Willis is.
Not near as dramatic.
No. I would imagine most of our friends in Chicago don't call it that.
We had tickets to go there. Well, we were in line to go there several times, and we ended up just going out and eating and going to bed because we had to get up to a conference, but never made it up into the Sears Tower.
That is the most lame thing I've ever heard, Randy. I was in line and I got bored of waiting.
Well, I'm just not going to wait for hours to do something. I
get it the first time, but the second time you got to be prepared.
Well, now we had kids with us. We had kids, and they get hungry.
By the way, happy belated Father's Day.
Oh, thank you. Had a great time yesterday. Had a good time. Got the well wishes from all the kids. Got a shirt that said Papa on it. It's very good. Camo, nonetheless.
Ooh.
Papa in camo. Yeah.
Yeah, look at you, big manly man over here. With your
you know what?
Camo
I should get one of those camo Papa T-shirts and wear it around and really confuse people.
Yeah, you should do that.
That's good. Tell them you're Bambi's dad.
Oh, you know what Helene got me for birthday? On some Bambi's dad.
Oh,
Lord.
Oh, John.
Wow.
Oh.
Yeah. Helene got me a really nice, with a leather neck strap and then beautiful canvas. It said Randy Grill Daddy or something. It was personalized. A grilling apron.
Oh, wow.
I am now fully equipped, baby.
She treats you too well.
Serious grilling.
So it's leather and canvas.
No, the leather straps, and but I mean, just really a really hardy one. This is not like one you get at Temu. This is a good one.
It kind of sounds like a multi-purpose outfit.
Yeah, well,
I gotta ask the listener something kind of related to this, and this is gonna sound terrible, and if this doesn't hit, I'm gonna look like the weirdest guy you know. I got
that's
my
already
first.
been established.
Yeah, but this is gonna.
They don't need any help there.
Yeah, I think that ship has sailed.
This is this times 10. Have you ever? I got my first apron, and I was cooking, like an extravagant meal for myself. And there's a chance I was wearing only underwear under the apron. Is this something other people do, or am I alone in this?
There was a time when my daughter. No, I think that people. We have a very secluded backyard with a fence, security fence around it. So I've been known to go out. I've been known to go out between shower and whatever with underwear on and light the fire and come back in. I mean, I do that, but it's all secluded. Well, are you doing this like in the back of your apartment in the middle of Columbia?
No, I'm in my kitchen.
Oh, well, what's wrong with cooking in your?
Nothing. It's
just
kitchen? I just enjoy. I mean, it was fun. I got to wear my apron, and I don't know if. It's one thing to do it outside where everyone else can see. You're almost doing it performatively. If I'm doing it in my home with no one else there,
you want to be a Chippendale.
You do it for yourself. Shut up.
You want to be a Chippendale.
Drake, did you turn off the cameras?
Did I turn off the cameras? It's crazy.
Got to watch it with spattering grease, too. That's why you never wear
John,
flip-flops in the back of the house.
Normally you get blisters from STDs, but this one...
Wow.
Do you get blisters from STDs?
Certain. Well, of course.
What?
Oh, my God.
I didn't know about this.
Do I need to do a Make Missouri herpes again for you?
I mean, it's coming up next segment, and I got to know about this. Wait.
No,
herpes is blisters?
Yes, it's a blistering disease. Yes.
I got to do some research.
Have you never had a fever blister?
No.
That's a herpes virus. So is genital herpes, but it's a blistering. It's a blister. Yeah.
Huh.
You didn't know that? Well, that's a good thing. That's
You're
a good
right.
thing. Okay.
Maybe
Sorry,
you
I'll
might
do
want to
some
put
research,
on some
Randy.
pants with that apron.
No, but but the good news is there's medicines to take care of that, so it's a good thing. But yeah, it's a really, really menacing problem for people.
All right, we got like 30 seconds left in this segment. You wrap up the Madison Square Gardens thing. I'm going to look up herpes and how that works.
Show is deteriorating here.
That's it.
That's a serious problem. I get fever blisters a lot, and I used to get them more than I get them now. But when I would play my trombone, I'd get them because any kind of stress, either physical, mental, if you're out snow skiing or in the cold weather, you can get it. And boy, fever blisters. I hate those things. Oh, they hurt. You get fever blisters, Brian? No.
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 I hate them.
Maybe
no
you should
blisters.
Clean your mouthpiece a little more often.
Oh, man.
Oh my goodness!
Well,
is this my fault or what happened?
When we come back on Make Missouri Healthy again, we're going to talk about another problem with the skin that is very, I think, more summer specific. We'll talk about that when we come back. And Congressman Eric Burleson, hopefully he's not listening because then he may not want to come on the show. But if
would you?
7:35. Stay tuned.
It's Wake
So here we are in summertime, July 4th coming up. I mean, in one way or another, you can't help it. You're mowing grass, and you're mowing the grass, and then you have to get off the mower because a stick fell off the tree with all the violent weather, and who mows the grass in muck boots? Not many people, right? You usually have your tennis shoes on or something.
Yes.
So you get out in the grass, and then a day or two later, it's like, oh my gosh, you all these little tiny raised, itchy as heck red areas, and you go, what's going on? It's not a tick. It's not poison ivy. Could be chiggers.
Chiggers.
Man, they are wicked. What are you laughing about, Drake? Chiggers are bad.
The thing that we were talking about earlier can be triggered by some things in the summer.
They can be.
Yeah.
So here's the thing. If you feel as though you've gotten into a bunch of chiggers, and sometimes the bites are fairly immediate because they don't burrow into the skin. They don't lay eggs in the skin. There's common myths, put a little Vaseline in and it'll suffocate them. No, they have an enzyme that basically eats the skin. I mean, it causes that basically causes a dissolving of the skin. Well, that creates a reaction that then brings in an inflammatory reaction, and that's what
yes.
the histamines are released from the cells around, and that's why you get that intense itching. You cannot stop. I've had people rub their skin raw with a brush just because of the itching. It's so best thing to do if you notice that's happening, immediately get in the shower and scrub a dub really hard to try to get the dead skin and get any of that enzyme off. Generally things like topical, like cortisone creams, you can buy Cordaid, that kind of thing. The 1% cortisone creams can help. Taking an antihistamine, and at night, while the antihistamines like Claritin and Allegra and Zyrtec and Zyzal, they're okay. But if you really want to knock a lot of the itching, especially at night, because when is the itching the worst? At night. When you're not distracted, things are quiet, you have nothing to think about but stare at the ceiling and think about the itching. Right? That's when you should probably use Benadryl or use something like that. There's one that your doc can prescribe called hydroxyzine, and that can be helpful too. Calamine actually can help too. The pink stuff?
Old-fashioned calamine lotion.
Yep. And, but I mean, the strong antihistamines, they're sedating. So you've got to be careful if you're at a party in the evening and you're drinking some beers and you take your Benadryl, let someone else drive home. You should probably do that anyway. But, I mean, they can really combine to make you tired.
And stay off the bulldozer.
Yeah. The other thing that can help is to take and I do this for poison ivy. I tell patients to take a tablespoon of baking soda, put it in a quart of water, put it in the ice box, refrigerate it, and then make a cold compress out of it. It can be very, very soothing. The other thing is, even though who doesn't like a hot shower? Raise your hand if you like a hot shower. Me.
Yay, yes.
Not when you have anything that's itchy and histamine releasing. So whether it's poison ivy or chiggers or a tick bite or whatever, the hot shower only encourages more of the release of the histamines that cause the itching and the irritation and the inflammation. So you just have to be real careful about that because chiggers are wicked. I haven't gotten into them yet this year, but it happens inevitably sooner or later.
Ticks are awful this year,
They are
too.
bad. They're just bad, yeah.
I don't know. I don't know which one's worse, the itching from poison ivy or chiggers or, doing a cold shower. Nothing is more demasculating than a cold shower. I hate it.
Really?
It causes all kinds of shrinkage.
I was just saying, yeah, okay, whatever.
And the other thing is, for ticks and for chiggers, if you soak your clothes, especially like your pants and maybe the tails of your shirt, but if you soak it in permethrin, you can get permethrin. Soak that in there, close it at permethrin, and spray yourself with DEET. That'll go a long, long way to keeping a lot of these insect bites away.
What the heck is that first one? Permethrin?
Permethrin. Permethrin.
Bug repellent.
Take care of your permethrin, and it'll take care of you.
Sounds like an ingredient in Roundup.
Back with more Wake Up Missouri after this.
ended the war with Iran. They have agreed never to have a nuclear weapon.
It's your morning addiction.
This dude has a Nazi tattoo on his chest. And the women that he dated describe him as someone that roughed him up.
Wake Up Missouri with Stephanie Bell, the Zimmer News Team.
It's the United States on the board!
And now introducing your host, Randy Tobler.
Hey, welcome back into Wake Up Missouri. We want to talk about happy Father's Day late to all you guys and gentlemen out there who have been great fathers throughout the years. We want to thank you for that. A day late, because Lord knows it's a difficult job to be a dad, just like it's a difficult job to be a mom, and things are changing. John, happy late Father's Day to you. I didn't get to wish you that.
Yeah, same to you. Yeah. Right back at you.
One of the things that is more and more troubling to me, and we were just talking about it off air, is this whole notion of where is the citizen's responsibility? You know, what's the phrase everyone's saying now? If you see something, say something, right?
Right.
But it originated with terrorism. But in this time it's in Columbia, I think to some degree in Jefferson City, probably in Springfield as well. I don't know those numbers, but almost everywhere, police departments are understaffed, sheriff's departments, right? A hard time to keep people staffed. And so they have to pick their battles. And Brian Carl is in for Stephanie Bell today. Brian, you were talking about this deal in Kansas City where this guy's out shooting, what did he shoot? 6 people, 1 died?
Yes, there was a, excuse me, in the midst of the World Cup where Kansas City's on the world stage, you had a guy who, I don't know if he has mental problems or what his situation was, but
family said he did.
He was driving around on I-70 shooting at other cars. He killed 1 person, I think wounded 5.
Yeah.
And then one of the cars that he shot at was being driven by an Uber driver who had people from Argentina in the city for the World Cup. And then the following night, there was a shooting at 18th and Vine in the Jazz District, which is a really important entertainment district in Kansas City, especially when you have the World Cup people in town. 1 was killed and several wounded.
Separate event.
Whoa. And this is not a good look for Kansas City. And what they were saying is that we don't have enough police officers. And you hear this over and over again. And remember, and I love Kansas City. My dad was from Independence. But this is a place where 2 years ago at the Super Bowl parade, there was 1 person killed and 22 wounded. Yeah. I don't know what's going on in Kansas City, but it's not good. They are, I guess, in a race with St. Louis to see who can be the most lawless.
Well, was it last year when Drake, John, help me here. Remember when we reported on they were doing like cars were in some area in Kansas City. Maybe Brian, you remember this. And the mayor had to really put the crunch down because in one area they were hot rodding around in the city and absolute bedlam going on.
Yeah, they put in a new ordinance up there where they'll confiscate your dirt bike or your ATV if you're involved in a street takeover.
So it raises the question. There's another story now. Let's begin to bring this together. So, we have the 8 people died in Chicago over the weekend. Big, rampage there.
8?
I think they said 8. I think
I think you're right, but wow, that's high by Chicago standards.
So you got to wonder if the police can't do it, and it's not that they don't want to. You talk to police officers, they're like, there's only so many of us around. We can't do everything. If they can't do it, where is the citizen's responsibility? Whether it's just sort of an offhand one-off thing, you see something going on and you take matters into your own hand. Seems to me like when that happens, it never works out well for the citizen. They end up getting prosecuted.
Yes.
I'm just saying. But are maybe someone more like a guardian angels model where someone is going to be like, Curtis Sliwa and his people back in the day patrolling the subways, right, to try to keep them safe. Well, There's this story out of, was this Florida? Yeah, Florida. An MMA fighter has founded a group called 561 Predator Catchers using decoys online. And then he did like a citizen's arrest kind of a deal, right? Because they trapped a 21-year-old guy who was allegedly expected to meet up with a 13-year-old named Justin, in air finger quotes, at Home Depot for a sexual rendezvous. And instead, this MMA fighter comes up on camera, they say between potted firms and pallets of pavers, and he pounded the alleged perp unrelentingly with questions about his plans. So he didn't pound him physically, but with questions. So, man, I'm wondering what police officers think of that. Do they consider that kind of a thing a hindrance or a help? What do prosecutors think? Is that a hindrance? What is the series on MDBC where the guy, it's gone on for years, the guy will catch someone and it's all on camera. And it's, remember?
To catch a something.
You know what I mean? And the guy,
yeah.
Lately it's been illegals that are, either involved in prostitution or drugs or, child trafficking,
Are you talking about To Catch a Predator? Is that what you're?
Yeah, that's it.
I think maybe that's it. Yeah.
Yeah, with Chris Hansen?
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, okay, that's it. I don't know the name of it.
Why did you have a seat?
I just know the deal. I know I know the video. So, I don't know. If you're in law enforcement, if you've been there, give us a call or text us. I'm curious. 573-874-9390 is the text. 800-529-5572. And Brian, you're right. I mean, there seems to be in some areas now, Chief Jill Schluty and officers in Columbia have made it clear that they're not going to tolerate low-level, even, loitering, right? And look at how violent crime in Columbia has been down so far.
Talk to the cops. They don't like vigilantes because they can screw up their investigation, whether it's, having a clear chain of custody and evidence or, and people not getting read their rights. Cops are no fans of vigilantes.
And the other question I have, I brought it up last week about one of my winners of the week was this mom of what was his name? Proper is Trent Proper, whatever. The guy in Ohio, the 19-year-old who was one of the masterminds behind this thwarted UFC 250 thing.
Yes.
God love her for doing that. Can you imagine? I mean, okay, so you've got someone very well, or they're your relative, and they're making threats. There's some funny stuff going on. You suspect there's something brewing that is not good. But they have friends too. And you call them out. You see something, something, and all of these attacks, always in retrospect, it's like, well, yeah, we talked to the neighbor. The neighbor said he was a little weird, Yeah, something was going on.
Yes.
They were bringing a lot of boxes, and there were a lot of pipes in that garage, before the pipe bomb goes off, And is it that people are afraid to say anything because either the perp will get off? Prosecutors say, we don't have time for that. We got bigger fish to fry. They didn't really do anything. How do you know? Or their friends are going to come after you. I mean, I think there's a fear factor there that probably prevents a lot of crime that otherwise could have been prevented.
Well, so many of these guys, they do not fear the police. They don't fear prosecutors. They don't fear going to jail. Swift and certain doesn't really exist anymore. So if you are a regular person and you're balancing what you should do, I would hate to say it. I would like to say I would always blow the whistle, but I don't think I can say that because I would have to ascertain how much danger would I put myself and my family in.
Right. That's the issue. Now, on the other hand, there is the see something, say something can be abused. And how many times maybe our prosecutors, I bet they could count on more than, hands and take off your shoes and count the toes, where they've had serious allegations made against someone and it's not true. It's just someone wanting to get another person in trouble and make up a story, right? So that's the other. Now that is something that ought to be prosecuted. That should not be a civil offense. That should be a criminal offense. When you finger someone for being a crook, a criminal, and you point to them and say, you're the bad guy, you did this, you did that should be a criminal offense, not a civil offense.
I would agree.
Okay, that just going back to the whole Chomo thing.
Yeah.
Have you? And this is terrible, but I love the videos of. At first, it was like, guys doing the Chris Hansen thing by themselves and just beating up the guy in like the Walmart aisle or whatever. Usually won't lead to prosecution, but I recently saw a video of like these two kids wearing the same outfit, gray sweatpants and a white T-shirt, and they went on the you know how you can go onto the Walmart intercom, like just pick up the phone. They were like, "There's a man, there's a man here to see a 13-year-old boy. He's wearing gray sweats and a white shirt, and it's like the first person to get out without getting caught wins." And they'd run through. I watched a guy get like tackled, like a linebacker fully like pancaked. So I mean, it does seem like people are willing to, if there is an announcement, if it is like, hey, we're looking for this guy in this building, I'm going to get him.
Yeah, there are people that will do that. And at the end of the day, I mean, so much of this really is I think embedded and born out of mental illness, severe mental illness, right? You don't like, well, who was it? Hinckley. Megyn Kelly had Hinckley, the guy that shot Reagan. He got clemency.
Yes.
And he was on her podcast the other day, and I didn't listen to it, but I read sort of the little summary of it. Apparently, the guy is like, he talks about it. He was sick, and he had an infatuation for
Jodie Foster.
Jodie Foster, right?
We've all been there.
How was your weekend, Drake?
It was pretty good.
Oh.
Yeah.
Want to share any details?
I did go on a date. Yeah, I did.
Did you?
Oh, yeah.
Wow.
I actually went mini golfing.
You did. I know the
She beat me by 9 strokes.
The previous
Get
weekend
any
you
tips from
tried
Lou
to.
Zader?
No, he said, don't maybe let her win the first one, but yada, yada, yada. Just have fun. And I was like, come on. I need like actual professional tips, Don.
No, would you purposely, in the same way you would compete against a bunch of guys at a pickup basketball game or, football or baseball, you wouldn't compete that hard against someone that you're on a date with,
No,
would you? Just
actually, I had the same intensity. What I did was, one, I had a kid's putter, so from me holding it, it probably went down to like halfway down my shins, and I did it left-handed, and she beat me by 9 strokes.
Okay.
I handicapped myself. I don't know what
Did she know you were doing that?
Yeah, I told her.
Wow.
Well, she could figure it out because every time I went up to the ball, I'd like line up righty and then I'd switch around.
You look real awkward doing that.
Always.
Did you hit from the left side with a right-handed putter is what we want to know.
I don't know. Good for you. Well, that's good.
But Drake, I'm not sure, though, that I can agree with your strategy.
The Adventures of Drake. When we come back, I've been infatuated with these various videos from foreigners, but once in a while you get spoofed. Talk about that when we come back.
It's
To Wake Up Missouri on a Monday following a big Father's Day weekend. Hope all you dads out there had a great time. Wasn't the best grilling weather yesterday. There was a window to grill, though.
There was a window, and our friends in the weathercasting department missed all these weather alert days. Everyone's going to die, but it didn't rain that much.
I don't know. We have our house is a slab house, but then when they built an addition, they put a little storage, like a basement storage area under there, like maybe a, 15 by 15 room. Got a sump pump in there because occasionally it gets, it dry as a bone. For some reason, that downpour yesterday overwhelmed the sump pump. And I spent the rest of the day clearing stuff out and drying it out. I don't know.
That is a lot of fun.
I don't know what happened.
Randy, when I was a little kid, I was deathly afraid of sump pumps.
Yeah?
Yeah,
why?
Because I thought they were bottomless.
Oh, you thought if you fell in, it'd be all over.
It's all over. And I was really afraid my Cocker Spaniel would fall in, although she looked at it and avoided it.
We have a blind dog. He won't come into the pool near the pool anymore because he fell in last year. It was pretty dramatic.
How does he know where the pool is?
When we're hanging out, we call him, and he'll.
You can probably smell it,
And he likes to be splashed. You take your hand and splash him. He likes to do that. And he just sort of wildly barks, tries to do. He loves that if you spray him with the hose sprayer. That's his favorite thing is the hose sprayer. He just goes crazy.
Wow.
So you never call him over and, there's a straight line between you and the dog, but the corner of the pool is there. He'll somehow avoid it. Is he playing you?
No, he's just smart. He's very smart. And he goes by nose and hearing because he can't see well. Now, I was taken by I was worried that this was going to happen. We've talked about Freddie, the famous German he went to Waffle House and Buc-ee's and Bass Pro and what else? He's been to everywhere. And he started this viral trend of all the foreigners that are visiting the World Cup, right?
Yes.
And now he's been invited to the White House, apparently. Is that right? And invited for White House visit. He's just been a fairy tale story. The special presidential envoy for American tourism, exceptionalism, and values, Nick Adams. I've interviewed Nick Adams before. Good guy. He's going to invite. So you look at these things, and you guys have seen these on your X feed, and right, they're all over the place. I got really spoofed by one, and here it is.
Mesdames et messieurs, we need to talk about l'Amérique. As French, we need to stop saying Vive la France and start saying Vive l'Amérique. This place is incroyable. C'est incroyable. I just had Texas barbecue for the first time in my life. Off. Better than any moment in my life. And I am married and have 2 kids. Oh, but in France you have des crêpes, les petits pains au chocolat, les croissants. No, I give my left croissant for a Texas brisket.
I give my left croissant for a Texas brisket. It was at that moment I figured maybe that's a comedy bit. And I don't know, the reader context says that's a fake video.
It's too
well
good.
Done, though.
No, it's fun as heck, but it's
the French
too good.
hate us anyway.
Congressman Eric Burleson coming up. He's not fake.
As America
This is not a deal that the United States is imposing on the region. This is a deal that the region has desperately asked the United States to put in place. Obviously, the headlines have been very focused about what's been going on between the United States and Iran, but this region has been a basket case for a very long time.
Well, no one knows what's going on. No one knows what's going on over there in Iran and in Geneva, Switzerland, right? Because the problem is we are told one thing by our team, we are told another thing by their team, and Brian Carl in for Stephanie, no one knows who to believe.
Can you believe anything that the Iranians tell us? I would say no.
Well, that you never have been for almost half a century, right?
Right, since 1979.
And just over the weekend, Drake, I gave you a number there. It turns out that over the weekend, the president of Iran told the parliament there that we have no intention of giving up our nuclear enrichment ambitions.
Right.
And they also said they were going to close the Straits of Hormuz. Now, that's probably saber-rattling. They haven't closed the Strait of Hormuz, but still, maybe they're just speaking to their domestic audience, and Trump and team knows that, and let them play in their sandbox. But they're going to play by our rules. I don't know.
And that could be, and that would perhaps be the most favorable outcome. But it also appears that in Iran there are multi-poles of power.
Yeah. I don't know. It's let's see if Congressman Eric Burleson from 7th District in Missouri can figure this one out for us. Welcome in, Congressman. Happy Father's Day to you. A little late.
Oh, thank you.
So,
happy Father's Day to all the fathers out there.
Yeah, I have to ask you, I think everyone is scratching their heads. People who support, including me, who supported this effort in Iran, said, like, look, we've got to clean out this mess over there. We cannot let them sponsoring proxies. We can't let them move towards tipping ballistic missiles, which we now go farther than we thought they could, with nuclear, warheads. And it all looked good. And we had our boot on their neck, and everything was going sterling. And then suddenly this, memorandum to discuss things, and we might do this, and we hope that, and oh, by the way, start selling your oil and making hundreds of billions of dollars. Where do you stand on where we are right now, Congressman?
That's a good question. I'm not in the administration, so I don't have control over the Department of War directly and the strategy. I personally would have 3 months ago taken Cargill and called it. But I'm not the president.
Let's hear some applause there. Do you have the applause button, Drake? I think a lot of people are saying, wait a minute, if we have dominion over the airspace, why don't we just take dominion over their coastal and Carg, and let's just open up the strait, right?
And of course, the president has information that I don't have, but that's based on the information that I have. That's what I would have done. Mm-hmm. But I think he's very loathsome to go put boots on the ground, and at the end of the day, this is a memorandum. It's not the deal. We don't really know. With Trump, it's always a lot of rhetoric and a lot of talk, and then things actually what happens is not exactly what was said. So I'm going to, withhold my judgment until we actually get to that point. But I do think the other aspect is that there's politics involved here. I mean, the president sees how the polling numbers are and probably wants to get past the midterms, and before, and I mean, the ideal scenario would be that we have peace for the next few months and then get past the midterms, and that gives the president a lot more ability to have a clear view and concise view as to what to do.
Well, certainly, Congressman, this is Brian Carl. Welcome to the show. Certainly people outside the Beltway, according to the polling, are becoming increasingly frustrated and against the action with Iran. And I'm sure the Iranians know this. And so it puts the president in a tough spot. But I agree with you. I would have been much more aggressive earlier on, knowing that the midterms are coming up and people are going to be really angry if they're paying $3.50 for a gallon of gas.
That's right. Yeah, and and I think Congress has failed in the aspect that we haven't done enough as far as the affordability. We haven't done a whole lot in general. We haven't codified a lot of Trump's executive actions, things that probably could make this economy even better.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, to me, if once the president made the decision to go in, you go in hard, and you try to it's a sprint.
Yeah.
And you try to. That's why my view would have been that you take the island,
right.
Occupy, take control of the thing that controls 90% of their oil
right.
and fuel supply, and cut them off completely, and then let them have to come up with the calculation: do we want to bomb our own island? Do we want to attack and potentially destroy critical infrastructure that we'll need for decades to come? So to me, it was a strategic thing. Again, I do not have the information that the president has, so I can't really say with certainty.
Well, we're going to follow it, and we're talking with Congressman Eric Burleson about, I think everyone's scratching their head about what's going on over in Geneva by way of the Iran negotiations. Tell us about another thing that I think has many Americans, whether from both sides of the political spectrum, looking at what's going on in Congress. Do you find yourself walking through the halls of Congress, whether it's a fellow congressman or woman or a senator, maybe you see him at a restaurant. Do you guys ever look at one another and go, why is it that we can't get the Save America and FISA, the Save America Act for sure, across the finish line when a vast majority of even Democrats think that there ought to be a voter ID and a huge number of Republicans? Why can't that get done?
No, it is frustrating. This is the internal fight that Freedom Caucus members have every week when we come in. We have meetings. We have multiple meetings a week trying to strategize how to push this issue, to manipulate or try to push it forward through the mechanisms of the House and the Senate. Mm-hmm. We strategize with Mike Lee and Ron Johnson and Rick Scott and others in the Senate at least once a week on how to help them in that strategy. But we're all just shaking our heads. What is wrong with the Senate? I think this latest bout that when Thune is saying that there's not even 50 votes for the SAVE Act in the Senate, I think is a lie. I think that there are 50 votes if you can get it to an actual vote. The senators, where they don't have the 50 votes is to basically cut off debate or with the cloture rule. They don't have the 60 votes they need to do that, but they also don't have the 50 votes that they need to force the talking filibuster or to nuke the filibuster.
Yeah.
And those are two different things. My view is they should do the talking filibuster, which is what we do in the Missouri Senate. It forces people to the table. It forces painful conversations because senators, especially the Washington, D.C. senators, who mostly are used to a work effort that is nothing, right? Letting their staff do everything. When those senators have to actually go and spend hours on the floor talking, you will see them buckle very quickly. Mm-hmm. So I think you don't have to nuke the filibuster. You just need to force them to actually filibuster.
Get them on record. Yeah. And that would help with campaign commercials for the good guys. Yeah. We're talking with Congressman Eric Burleson from Missouri's District 7 on Wake Up Missouri.
Congressman, the last time we talked to you, we were waiting on the feds to drop the newest information on UAP UFOs after we got that third batch of stuff. Mm-hmm. Your take on it? You've been right in the middle of it from the get-go.
My take is that there's when you go, it's like a funnel of information. So from the top and from the bottom. So a lot of people are wondering why haven't we seen a lot of the really good stuff? Well, a lot of it lies in these middle tier areas, people connected to federally funded research and development centers. So right after the Manhattan Project, you had a lot of, the federal government was refining how it was going to retain a lot of these secrets. And they didn't want to have what happened to the Manhattan Project where everything was leaking to the Russians immediately. They didn't want to see that happen. So they created these quasi-private public entities that were called federally funded research and development centers. Basically, they're private companies who only have one client, and that's the federal government. They do scientific research. These are entities like MITRE Corporation, you have Aerospace Corporation, you have RAND, you have Battelle, you have MIT Lincoln Labs. So they all are stood up, and they have only one client, that's the federal government. They do research, and then they contract out to different other companies, very compartmentalized work to be done. So if there is some kind of advanced material research going on, you might have it being managed by Los Alamos Labs, but they are then piecemealing it to different companies to actually perform the work. So that's why my team has been sending interrogatory letters and subpoena requests to come in to talk in a skiff to all of these federally funded research and development centers. And we've been very specific. Originally, we sent very broad letters asking them to come in and talk to us. Now we're getting very specific, and our letters are designed to make them have to come forward and make them have an uncomfortable conversation. It's already been successful when it came to MIT Lincoln Labs. So that organization, we sent them a letter saying, we know you have a video file that we know that you have, here's the name of this file. We ask for you to retain this file and for you to turn it over to the federal government for review. And they've admitted that the file exists, and they're going to do that.
Before we run out of time, you having a big event to unfold and really break out a great American healthcare plan, the House Triangle. Right. When is that? The 24th, Wednesday?
This Wednesday, we'll be announcing the Great American Healthcare Plan, which is a reform of our disastrous healthcare system.
Wow.
So to a free market healthcare product. So look it up at the GreatAmericanHealthAlliance.com.
So this will be like one size Obamacare doesn't fit all, I hope, right? I mean, people can have more choice.
That's right. It returns choice back to the healthcare industry.
What a novel thought in America on our 250th birthday. Thank you, Congressman Eric Burleson, for being with us. Appreciate it.
Thank you. Have a great day.
All right. Back with John's segment in a minute.
It's
A 63-year-old man from Canada's Northwest Territories has been charged with impaired operation of a marine vessel and refusal to provide a breath sample after being caught while trying to kayak while drunk. In what the Mounties call a bizarre incident, the man allegedly stole the kayak and was using a snow shovel to paddle around Lake Marion. The kayak's owner alerted cops about the missing vessel. When the Mounties got there, they found the guy in the water, too drunk to make it to shore by himself. They rescued him from the water and promptly arrested him. On the water, the risks are higher. Conditions can change quickly. There's limited equipment, and response times are often longer, said RCMP Corporal Kevin Kim, who also said after a search, the kayak had most of a 12-pack of empty cans of Molson's and a half-empty bottle of Cabot Trail maple whiskey in the footwell.
Okay, it's the maple whiskey that really put him over the edge.
Put him over the top.
And John,
diabetic issues or something.
John, I'm thinking that if the guy had just been using a paddle instead of a snow shovel, he would have gotten away with this.
He might have been a little more efficient with his kayaking than trying to paddle with a snow shovel.
That'll do it every time. I'm gonna make a note to myself that never use a snow shovel when I steal somebody's kayak.
Boy, I mean, to be that sauced that you get in a kayak. I mean,
we've all been there. Come on.
How often have you been sauced in a kayak, Drake?
I can't say I've done that, but it's a nice day out. I mean, I guess it's never a nice day in Canada, but still, I mean, going on the lake in a kayak, I mean, you don't do that?
That's some folks up there in the Great White North. I could attest to my cousins up in Minnesota being several sheets to the wind on the snow machines a few times.
If I'm on a lake in any kind of a vessel, I have a rod in one hand and a tackle box in the other. It's like I turn into Shags when I'm on a lake, man. I'm fishing. Our brother Shags.
You wish you had the physique of Shags on the lake. No,
well,
not
I have the fishing passion of Shags. But you can't fish efficiently if you're sauced.
Yeah, you can.
No, you can't.
Yeah, you can.
That's why God invented bobbers.
Yeah.
I like to fly fish when I'm out on it's fun.
You're one of those people?
How judgmental of you. There's an
fly
art to fly fishing.
Yeah, how do I say this nice on air? You are a girl if you
No, I bait cast and I spin cast, but I like fly fishing.
Yeah, bait casting's the way to go. No.
There's nothing like a popping bug on the lake and a big beautiful bass. One big beautiful bass.
Do you also make your own flies?
Yeah.
Do you make your own flies too at home? You're like, I'm going to get the hair of the...
I have matched the hatch in the past. Thank you very much.
Yeah, I'm going to get a pine leaf from Alaska and wrap it around this hair of a rabbit from Florida.
Remember that old musical act?
Randy, don't
The Captain and Chenille?
Oh my God! Randy, don't take this from Drake. Drake's the kind of guy who's on a farm pond in a corroded blue aluminum canoe.
Yeah.
No, I bank fish actually.
He probably shocks them with a 12-volt battery. Have them float to the top.
or stick a dynamite.
Wake up, Missouri. Stay tuned.
monsters.
It's your morning addiction.
When you don't respect our laws when you're coming in, how do we expect you to respect the laws when you're living here as...
Wake Up Missouri with Stephanie Bell, the Zimmer News Team.
We had a great victory in Venezuela.
And now introducing your host, Randy Tobler.
The inspectors heading into Iran and also the purchase of American farm goods, two major agenda items for the Americans. The vice president also laid out some of the pillars that were takeaways from the meeting in Switzerland. And one has to do with that deconfliction line to ensure that if shooting starts again, ultimately there's a way to rein back in all parties. Now, we don't know if the Israelis are part of that deconfliction. So far, according to our reporting, they have not signed any sort of document or agreed to terms as it relates to their activity in southern Lebanon.
That remains one of the many unanswered questions as we open up this, what promises to be another busy week on Wake Up Missouri. Thanks for joining us just off of the busy Father's Day yesterday. I think the dads and families may need a day off to recover from all of the merriment, right?
I hope so.
Yeah.
I hope so.
That's Brian Carl. He's in for Stephanie Bell and John Marsh and Drake Whitman alongside. Now, over the weekend, I guess yesterday, finally, there was a little bit of a real ceasefire between Israel and Lebanon, right? After there had been another ceasefire on Friday, which was broken within hours, but now Israel still maintaining, hey, we're not going to be bound by anything that the United States agrees to.
Yes, they're a sovereign nation. They can decide, and I've said to friends of mine who don't seem to understand Israel and Hezbollah and Lebanon, I said, well, what if in Canada there was a terrorist group who shot rockets into Michigan every other day? What do you think we would do about it? Sometimes I wonder, but I suspect we would make it stop with great violence.
Yeah, and if Canada had some kind of a peace treaty with said terrorist group that bound us to not fight that terrorist group, Donald Trump would tell them to, off. He would just do that. He would say, no, we're going to defend ourselves.
He's told them that for much less.
Yes, he has. Well, I think even...
he said that over the weekend. He said, you're going to go home and that's what's going to happen, So
that might be an even money bet, even with Joe Biden.
Yeah, you're right.
Maybe.
Even with Joe, yeah. And the Iranian president telling their parliament the other day that, hey, we have no intention of backing down on our nuclear enrichment. And it's being reported that Donald Trump is okay with them sometime down the road having civilian nuclear enrichment. Well, isn't that where we were allegedly previously?
Yes. You know what? As we talked off air, I don't understand how we're in a different place today than we were status quo ante. I don't think we're in any different place.
I think we've at a minimum, we've knocked back their capabilities. We've at least delayed what was a rapid escalation towards 80%, they had 80% enrichment. So if nothing else, we've knocked their capabilities back to manufacture ballistic missiles, their stores of missiles. But you're right. I mean, fundamentally, isn't this what we were hearing this kind of talk before the war started? Well, we're negotiating. We're not going to tolerate them having a nuclear weapon. We went to war. The straits were closed. Inflation went crazy because of oil prices. And now it's a big accomplishment that the straits are open.
In Iran, they have a very different culture. They are in it for the long haul. Mm-hmm. And the U.S. is a very short-term culture. So if that are going to be the terms under which this is negotiated, we're going to lose.
Okay, I do want to play a little bit of devil's advocate here. You say that if, Canada started shooting missiles at Michigan, one, I wouldn't care. Good riddance to Michigan. But also...
we do love their governor there.
It is a very different situation because we are giving a lot of foreign aid to Israel. I'm not saying that they shouldn't have, complete autonomy, that they should be able to do whatever they want. But, they should... If we're trying to get this peace deal done, and it benefits us, they should probably take the back seat and not be like, well... we didn't agree to this. No.
J.D. Vance had some pretty harsh words for them because, there were some cabinet members that made some comments, and he He called him out on, I guess it was Friday or Saturday. And he's put himself in a politically very risky position. Well, by virtue of being the vice president, and you have to go along with what the president says, whether he likes it or not.
Yes.
Meanwhile, I asked this in the first hour. I will ask it again. Not where's Waldo, but where's Marco? Where is Marco Rubio? He was all over, a week and a half ago. Couldn't stop seeing Marco Rubio. Now, since they've announced this MOU, he is not to be seen.
I hope he's having a great vacation. We're over here theorizing that he's like doing some big plot and this is all political games. I hope he's just enjoying time with his family at like Cancun.
Among the universe of possibilities is he wants to run for president in 28. He thinks that this isn't going to turn into anything. This is going to be a big nothing burger. We're still going to be having this, occasional little sorties against the Iranians and throw a few bombs. And meanwhile, Vance is out there telling everyone how good it is when nothing really happens. And he comes out saying, I told you so. And he separates himself from what looks like to a large amount of the American people, including independents, who are increasingly disillusioned with this president.
Yeah.
And he says, I knew them, but I don't know them.
But maybe this is like from way back whenever we first bombed Iran. When was that? Like earlier in the year?
28. Oh, well.
Like the first bombing.
That was
with
last
the
June.
That was last June?
Last June.
With the B-2s.
Last summer.
Okay, well, that's a lot longer than I thought. Maybe like sometime in the winter, he was like really wanting some sun. And he booked the flight, he booked the hotel, and he's like, I can't change it anymore, and sucks that this war's still going on.
Well, aviation fuel was cheaper then, and rates were, the tickets were cheaper.
Exactly. I mean, I think he might just be in Florida. He might be invested.
I don't think Marco books commercial flights in the economy section near the bathroom.
Well, no, he doesn't, but he's bringing his family. Oh. I mean, he's a family guy. And, I don't know.
I don't know.
You ever seen his wife?
Season.
You ever seen his wife? She's not flying in the back of the plane.
Wait, let me look up a picture of his wife.
I think she was.
Say more. Expand on that, Mr. Carl. Brian Carl in for Stephanie.
I think she was a former Miami Dolphins cheerleader.
So she's a trophy wife? Would you say that?
No.
I think she's a smart trophy wife.
No. Trophy wives, that you can't be a trophy wife with a politician. There's way too much that goes into politics for you to just sit there and be pretty. You have to be so involved. They just don't exist in politics.
Well, wait a minute. Hillary Clinton was a trophy wife.
Oh my God. Yeah. Participation trophy, maybe.
Whoa.
Did you say
like some lucite trophy that they mispoured and it cured with a big cloudy glare in it? What do you mean, trophy wife? Hillary Clinton?
Oh, I figured I'd get...
Brian Carl, former member of the Wake Up Missouri team here.
I'm going to be excommunicated.
Oh, my God.
So, one last thought about Marco Rubio. He's either playing 3D chess or the president disagreed with him. I think it's one of the two.
Yeah.
Or both.
Well, there was some reporting that he did disagree with the president going into this thing. I think it was him. Who else? There was someone else that disagreed. I read the reporting, but it was just like a quick report. But it was from a fairly credible, a formerly credible organization. Someone on the level of the Times or the Post or someone. They get it right once in a while.
Once in a while.
I don't think everyone in Trump's orbit approved of this deal. I really don't. And to his credit, I mean, he surrounds himself now with people who do disagree with him. It's reported, right?
Yes.
That doesn't mean he needs to listen to him, and clearly he didn't if there were those people. But if you're posturing to think about a 28 run and you're Marco Rubio, you want to be real quiet now while this thing plays out.
Okay, some of our listeners might know this. Whenever you're at work and you just kind of, we had 10 people on the staff. Now one guy left for another job. Oh, well, I'll pick up the slack. I'll try and help. And then it keeps on going until you're taking over 5 people's jobs. And then the boss starts you disagree with the boss on a big decision and all of that. I don't know. That's where he's at right now because he's taken over so many jobs since, Trump, I don't like you. You're out. Marco Rubio, I'll pick up the slack. And now this is a pretty big thing. He's kind of in charge of foreign affairs, and Trump's like, no, I'm not going to listen to you. So, I mean, I could get why he's frustrated. And, maybe he wants to go on the beach with this rocket of a wife. Wow.
I told you.
You are correct.
I told you.
Yeah, I mean, he's given it the old silent treatment, and like Drake said, I think it's all by design. It's not just, that he's been shoved over in the corner. I think it's he's looking at the strategy down the road, and if JB ends up being the one to get played by the Iranians, so be it.
Bill says Netanyahu cares about survival of their country. True.
Yeah.
And himself. He's under some heat over there. It's not all lollipops and rainbows among the Israeli population.
No.
He can't allow Hezbollah to kill their citizens without consequences. I agree. Trump Vance says, Bill, it's all about the midterms. And I think there's just an economic reality. Trump's a pragmatist at the end of the day. And the economic pressure, the price at the pump, which is so visible every day and are right in our face. All you have to do is, unless you're a hermit and you're holed up in your home all day, you see it and it hurts and you get it. And then you feel the ripple effects on the retail side with the cost of goods that have to be trucked and transported.
You don't need an army of consultants to explain this to you. It is been this way my entire life and before then, and it is totally predictable what will happen to you if you allow the American people to suffer at the gas pump and suffer at the grocery store. They're going to be big problems.
Okay, just to go against the point of Netanyahu's just protecting his people. Isn't the whole thing that he's sending missiles into Lebanon to bomb Hezbollah and all that?
After they killed a few IDF soldiers late last week.
Okay, so they have bases there?
Well, he's occupying southern Lebanon for all practical purposes because that's where a lot of the missiles are being launched from. And it's hard to separate Hezbollah from Lebanon's leadership. I mean, they're almost one and the same. So
just stop bombing for 2 weeks. Let us get the gas prices down here. Let's solve this war. Then you can bomb the ever-living crap out of them, Netanyahu. I don't care.
Now, James, you hurt me. James says fly fishing is definitely a boomer activity. I resemble that remark.
Boom.
All right.
10-2.
Right. Let's see. 10-2. Hey, we'll come back and talk about the markets with the Morning Bell. Stay tuned.
It's Wake Up Miss.
Morning bell rings ahead of the opening this morning. Markets were closed on Juneteenth, of course, and Brian, on Thursday, they ended up pretty positive. The NASDAQ was up almost 2%, but this morning, U.S. stock futures are mixed, and I think there's a lot of to and fro with the oil markets because first the straits are open, then the strait is closed, and no one really knows. And of course, last week the Fed chair was non-committal as far as what's going to happen in the future. He doesn't want to telegraph that. He wants to change that whole posture of the Fed. But they did hold things relatively stable last week.
I think he's right. I mean, in a very even environment, he would probably raise interest rates because inflation is now entrenched, which is a real big problem. But
it's mostly because of the allegedly temporary oil, though, that's driving it, right?
That's part of it, but underlying it is a massive amount of federal spending over the last 5 years.
Yeah.
Massive.
Yes.
So people don't remember that. Well, you better remember that. That's what caused a lot of this, and we're going to suffer with it for a while. But I guess, this man, the new chairman, he can't come in and raise interest rates in his first meeting. I think Trump would personally go and string him up someplace.
Yeah, he'd probably have a meeting with him.
Yeah, he'd find himself in Tehran all of a sudden. And speaking of business
and Fed chairs,
I got a bulletin from my media advisor. Yes, I do have a media advisor.
Wow.
My sister.
Look at you.
Yeah, she doesn't charge much. So Alan Greenspan, former chairman of the Fed, has died at age 100, and he was a very mainstream establishment Republican figure, very much aligned with the Bush family. And his wife, we can now use the past tense, Andrea Mitchell.
Chief Washington correspondent for NBC, right?
Long time. I don't know how long she's been there, like 138 years. She's been working for NBC.
And remember, he got so much credit because he was appointed Fed chair in 1987 by Ronald Reagan.
By Reagan, yeah.
Yes.
And he held that position through 2006, probably the longest. It was the second longest tenure, 4 months short of the previous one in the 50s through 70. And remember, he got a lot of credit for the booming economy that balanced the budget under Bill Clinton and everything. I mean, he took a lot of credit. He was a champion of low interest rates, but then he also was the goat in a bad kind of a way for the housing bust, right? Because of the easy interest rates or having a lot to do with that.
Yes, although a lot of that was bad legislation from Congress and bad regulatory behavior
from Freddie Mae and Freddie Mac.
You go back and look at it, and you say, yeah, of course this all crash landed really hard. It was terrible. And you know what? And who was held accountable? I'm not saying that they should have gone to jail, but they, at least ought to put up some posters and say these guys really did a lot of damage.
Remember his famous term, irrational exuberance?
Yes.
In 1996, he said, how do we know when irrational exuberance has unduly escalated asset values, meaning psychology way overpricing things, which then became subject to unexpected and prolonged contractions, as they have in Japan. Should not underestimate or become complacent about the complexity of the interactions of our asset markets.
He's right about that.
Yep, true. Alan Greenspan, rest in peace. I think all in all, a job well done.
I think just local news is like
reward for anyone that can help them figure out this guy who shot, half a dozen people, and one of them died.
Yes.
It actually happened, a week and a half ago, right? It happened, I think, 16th of June, 16th, 17th, and he's been on the lam. His family's saying that he was that he had mental illness problems. You think?
Well,
randomly shooting at people.
What I can't understand is that they cornered him in a house in Independence,
caught fire,
and they had a perimeter. And this was the house that was related to him. I think some of his family members lived there. And then all of a sudden it bursts into flames. Mm-hmm. And so the fire department puts it out. Fire marshal goes in and says, okay, you can come in. Well, the dude's not there. How did he slip the perimeter? I have no idea. But just to give us a really good idea about how serious the government takes us now, they've brought in the U.S. Marshals. Wow. And those guys only come in when the case is very difficult or it's the worst of the worst.
Stephanie Bell has not gone on testosterone shots. That's Brian Carl in for Stephanie.
Well, thank
people
you.
Wondering, it was Stephanie Bell, and here it's Brian Carl. I want to make sure people know who you are. So
well,
there you go.
That's very kind of
and
you.
Previously heard on Como Buzz.
On Como Buzz.
Yeah. So you're right. You're right on this deal. I mean, and you talked about it earlier, Brian. Crime and the acceptance of crime in certain places, I think it's fair to say in certain pockets of certain communities, seems to be just like a fact of life. It's like a default type of behavior, and it's got to stop. It's just got to stop.
Well, with regard to Kansas City, you cannot allow, I won't say encourage, but you can't allow a lawless environment and then all of a sudden say, oh, wait, the World Cup is coming. Yeah. We can't have any of that. Let's turn it all off. It doesn't work that way. The underlying enculturation has now adopted lawlessness and shooting. And we had another shooting in Kansas City during the World Cup on Friday night at 18th and Vine in the Jazz District, where
popular hangout for entertainment.
Yes. I would imagine a lot of World Cup people from out of the country were there. One was killed and several wounded. And the people there, the politicians who represent that part of Kansas City, were saying, well, we just don't have enough police officers. Wow. I'm sure they hate to admit that.
And on the heels of last week's unanimous Supreme Court decision that says that, at least in that specific case, if you can be a regular user of marijuana, but that doesn't prevent you from getting a gun. We have now this Michael Johnson, who's a rep. It was in the area of this 18th and Vine, and he's like, here we go again. And he says, I think that there's just a lack of an effort to put enough police officers on Vine. And it's always been that, he said. Others, though, are pulling out the old, we've got to get gun control card. John, how long have we heard that? Every time there's a shooting, first thing, reflexively, we got to get a control of those guns.
Well, we heard David Tyson Smith, the Columbia representative, the Democrat, on this program, bring that up a number of times, even wanting, 18-year-olds not to be able to buy semi-automatic weapons, which, didn't go anywhere in the heavily Republican House and Senate. But yeah.
A council member, Melissa Patterson-Hazley, said that the city hasn't invested enough in that area. They're investing billions of dollars in other parts of the city, says she. And the area we've neglected is getting more and more violent. And people are stressed out, and they have access to firearms in a stressful environment. Now, Councilwoman Hazley, you have an opportunity to make a big point. We saw it with the Carmelo Anthony thing. In certain parts of our young people's world in America, we all know who they are. It is the default response to, you offended me, you insulted me. First thing I do is not, okay, we're going to yell. Maybe I'll even punch you. No, first thing you do is pull out a gun or a knife and hurt someone. And this is where she makes the assumption that because people are stressed and because they have a gun, well, what do you expect? They're going to shoot. BS, Councilwoman Hazley. This is your opportunity to say, look, there's a lot of people in this world that have guns, and there's a lot of people with guns that are stressed. But it's not their default behavior when they're stressed to use guns to settle a problem.
No, they don't shoot anybody.
I mean, come on. Talk about the person behind the gun, Councilwoman Hazley. Oh, my God.
Yes, well, and you know what? To your point, Randy, in Boone County, the biggest cohort for these sorts of problems are people aged 10 to 17.
Mm-hmm.
Any way you want to cut the statistics, it shows that we have a real problem with people that young who possess guns, carry them, and shoot people. Now,
well, just as we pointed out the other day on the air, I think it was Friday, we talked about when they first did their downtown enforcement patrols in downtown Columbia, the chief said they were shocked at the number of underage kids who were caught carrying guns.
Yeah.
And
That's
John, you're exactly right. And I have looked at downtown with a jaundiced eye for a long time, and I hate that, but I couldn't believe it either. And I've walked around late at night in downtown Columbia, especially on a Friday and Saturday night, and I'm thinking, wow, did every other person who appeared to be 15, 16 years old, was he packing heat? And I guess so. I guess so.
Scary.
It's so sad that, I mean, clearly there's a sociological problem at play here. I think there's also a criminal justice problem at play here, and you have to have a balance of, I think, a stick with these kids, which probably should have happened at an earlier level. The first time they shoplifted, they shouldn't have been overlooked and say, oh, they're just kids, right?
Yes.
Many of them don't have dads in the home, and God love you mothers who are single-parent, mom-led homes. That's the majority of single-parent homes in America.
Oh, yes.
You're trying to make ends meet. You're trying to work. Your kid, and you're just not dad. You can try hard, but you're not dad. And who's going to be dad for these kids? And at the same time, rebuke them, make them accountable, show them love, show them what it is to be a real man. It's not to pull out a gun. We've had a lot of programs that seem to have not filled the bill. But one thing we haven't had is early accountability. I don't like this. Well, it was a nonviolent crime, so we're just not going to do anything about it. No. They need to learn that there is such a thing as right and wrong. Whether that's cheating in school or bringing out your cell phone when you're not supposed to, that's wrong, and there's a right thing to do. Somewhere along the line, these kids are getting the message that, well, you're underprivileged. Well, you're a black kid. Well, you're an impoverished kid. Therefore, we understand why you do wrong. Wink, wink. That tells a kid it's okay to do wrong.
Well, over the last couple of generations, there's been a breakdown in the American social contract.
Yes.
And by that I mean you don't do things that hurt other people. You don't.
It's an original libertarian message, right?
And if you do, then there will be swift and sure consequences.
Yep.
And there's been a huge breakdown with regard to action and reaction. It's not that difficult to understand. It truly isn't. So what has happened is the society, in my judgment, over the last two generations has decayed. And, people at my house laughed at me because earlier last week, the mayor of Columbia, Barbara Buffalo, was in a car accident, totaled her car. A guy ran a red light and hit her.
Yep.
And happily, thank goodness, she's
Glad
fine.
she's good. She's okay.
Fine.
She's fine. Car was totaled.
Totaled.
I think. Yeah.
But this is somebody who, and probably a younger driver, that's the impression I have, who ran a red light. Well, you just can't run red lights. You just can't. But I don't know what the consequences are anymore. When I was young and you ran a red light, oh my gosh, you would be in deep, deep trouble from a lot of people. But what I contend is that and this is not just in Columbia, it's all across the state of Missouri and all across the country. The police are understaffed. They don't have a traffic unit anymore. I can't tell you the last time I saw a Columbia police officer pull over somebody for violating traffic laws, and it happens all the time.
Oh, really? I don't know. Well, if you know, let us know if you are connected with the Columbia or Jefferson City or Springfield Police. Are those priority interventions, traffic stops? Are they not? Does it depend on the time of day or, what's going on? I don't know.
And please let me know when the best time to speed, run red lights, double park, and any other traffic infraction would be.
Drake, I would say right now, pretty much any time.
But there's a place for grace in our society.
Yes.
We have always been a gracious, a forgiving society.
Yes.
But I think effective grace, which then renders thankful and repentant behavioral change, starts with, as you said, a realization that, there has to be, before there's the grace rendered, there has to be an understanding that punishment is the default and maybe is experienced first before there's grace. You can't have grace, and grace means nothing, and it won't lead to anything unless you've felt the pressure, the pain of accountability.
Yes.
Think about your childhood. Think about the first time you fluffed off a homework assignment and you got a D or an F or whatever, and you go, okay.
or God forbid a 0.
Yeah. And then when you talk to the teacher and you say, I blew it, and the next time you maybe show up late, but you have a legitimate excuse, maybe the teacher gives you a little grace because otherwise you've done a great job, okay, and you've repented. That's meaningful. That's effective grace. I think that we've put grace as the cart that's come before the horse.
It's the default.
Well, little light talk on Monday morning. 573-874-9390. Where is the right place of grace and accountability in our modern American society? It's a good question. We'll be back and wrap it over with leftovers. Oh, and as though you didn't have enough, coleslaw or Caesar salad or strawberry salad or watermelon with your pecans and your goat cheese in the salad, I have a salad for you when we come back.
It's Wake Up Missouri.
Wrap up with leftovers time on Wake Up Missouri. Brian Carl's been in this morning. For Stephanie, she's out. She'll be going to Israel, and we hope to touch base with her. We're not sure whether we're going to be.
She's going to Israel.
She's in Israel, yeah.
Wow, she's brave.
And, well, I know. Well, she is brave. And
I've always wanted to go, and then I waited until...
I know.
It's a little iffy. Maybe I should go anyway. The heck with it.
So we would like to touch base with her sometime this week. We hope that we can do that. But again, it's always, communications and overseas are difficult, and especially now with all the uncertainties going on. So we'll follow. But Brian's been in for her today. You're in Wednesday too, right?
Yes, sir.
Good. Looking forward to that. That'll be fun.
So am I.
And John, what do you have for your leftover?
Well, we've got a story about a 7-year-old from Stover, sort of in the lake area, is dead after crashing a UTV in Morgan County. Troopers say the boy lost control of the side-by-side on a gravel road and rolled it. Both the child and the man riding shotgun were thrown out, and the adult only had minor injuries. Pretty tragic.
I've got little grandkids coming up. It won't be long before they're going to want to ride our ATVs. They're old-style ATVs, 20 years old. And they will wear a helmet or they will not ride the ATV. That just, I know they're not going to like that, but they will wear a helmet. Not that would have necessarily saved this, but certainly makes a difference.
Do those things have seat belts?
Yeah, and I think nobody was belted in from the sound of it.
Gosh darn it.
But, John, they do have them, right?
Yes.
Okay.
You do get a sense of complacency when you're out on one of those babies. You think, it's 4 wheels. I can really go crazy. You got to be careful. Drake, the U.S. Open is open. And
no, it's closed.
Oh, it's closed. Well, it's closed.
Well, it's
done now. Yeah.
Yeah, Wyndham Clark is going to open up some grape. I'm excited for this. Wyndham Clark, I became a golf guy now. I'm a golf guy. I'm going to have to start going to the range. But
no, that was the mini golf with the date. In case you missed it, we talked about it earlier.
Yes, I did. She beat me by 9 strokes. I might not be the best putter, but
you just
see me drive.
down. You just stood down.
I think it was
for the lady.
I think it was the left-handed short putter that did it.
Well, the worst part was that she'd laugh at me after every shot. Like if I mess up a putt, she'd turn around, laugh, and then immediately say sorry. So it was just not a great all-around experience.
Good. And then
but she was great. We had great
step
conversation.
in and nail the putt, right? Yeah. Right. Yeah.
But Wyndham Clark has won the U.S. Open. The Open Up Some Grape was from his last major that he won. He is becoming hated in the golf community.
Why?
So he, with golf people, they're very prim and proper and all of that. Yes. And he was rooting against the people. In every sport, there needs to be hate, and it seems that golf has had that hole. Mm-hmm. He's starting to fill that up. He was rooting for bad shots for other golfers.
Is this after he'd finished his round? He was waiting.
I think it was during the round, though.
Wow. Holy cow!
Yeah, so he's a menace.
Overtly,
also
clapping when they screwed up.
I learned something very interesting about soccer this weekend.
Yeah,
you know how British people are like, you call it soccer, you're not prim and proper. We call it football. Yeah. They don't call it football.
No,
I learned that they don't. They call it soccer.
Okay,
it's called soccer.
Well, tell me what she was saying.
I really truly believe this. We each have light inside of us. And we need to know that is what inspires our hope as much as anything external to ourselves. And when we feel that and not allow an election or an individual to dampen that light, and instead let that light kind of carry us, in particular through moments of darkness, that we not only act on that hope, but we inspire that hope in each other. And in particular at this moment, it is so important that we not only have hope, but that we understand that should be a verb. I really, truly...
Okay, so we'll be trying to figure this out with our Kamala Ease translator overnight, and we'll bring you Wake Up Missouri tomorrow and try to figure out what the heck she just said. Bye!